Servite players working awful hard in that weight room getting ready for the biggest game of the year. This time we brought it out on the road. We're over here at Servite High School on this Wednesday as Servite guys get ready to play Mission Viejo in that big Pac-5 championship game Saturday at Angels Stadium. I'm here with Carlos Arias, Steve Fryer here. Hey, we've got some pretty good players on both sides of the ball, Carlos. Gosh, the Servite football team has been something else. I think Cody Pittman is really coming to his own at quarterback. I think he had his best game last week against Alamany. He made this Matt Barkley sort of throw. You know, his guys wrapped around him and threw it across his body. The toughest throw I've seen him make. Malik Felton, we've seen how good that guy's been all year. You know, he came in when DeRosa got hurt. He's kind of like the outside the tackles runner. DeRosa's still in there running between the tackles when they need him. On defense, they got playmakers too. That might be the best defensive backfield we've ever seen. Carlton Dennis, you know, James, Cameron Farrell, just a great group of guys over there. And then you got the monster number 55, Troy Nicholas on defense too, and also on the O-line. So Servite's bringing a lot of good football players in this game, Carlos, and so is Mission, huh?
Oh, you better believe it, man. Get ready for Orange County football Armageddon. That's what I'm calling this, man. It's finally here. We're finally going to see the rematch from last year. But, yeah, on this team, the Diablos, I mean, Trey Madden, what can you say about him? He's a force on defense. He comes in the Wildcat to spell Alex Bridgeford. That's amazing. Brian Killer's a great receiver. You hammer with the running backs of Jaleel Pinner and Dallas Kessman. I mean, give me a break. That's a sick offense. Usually throughout the season, the teams have played with them, and then, boom, they drop the hammer. It's over. On the defense, you got once again, Trey Madden. Sure. I mean, I'm sorry, but that kid's awesome. You got Schmall, who's come over from St. Margaret's and showing people he can play with the big boys. Mitch Malusian, I just knew him as number 85. I finally got his number and name correct. They're going to be seeing a lot of 85, so that's going to be great. And then De Silva in the defensive backfield. So, you know, it's going to be awesome, man. Great matchup.
Talking to some of the Servite football players about the big game coming up is Jonathan Khamis. Going to be talking to some of those big Servite players. Jonathan?
Thanks, Steve. I'm here with the Hitman, Matt Inman, and we are getting ready for that huge Pac-5 championship game. Matt, you've been here before. What's your mentality going into the big game?
I mean, we really haven't changed anything, to be honest with you. We keep the same things we've been doing all year. Coach Thomas is sticking to them. Like, we're still working out just as hard. We're still doing all the same things. So, I mean, hopefully get it done, do another week, do everything we've been doing, and get it done.
They've been talking about it all year. Everybody has the same rematch that was going to happen since the beginning. We knew it was going to come to this, so we're just prepared and ready to go.
We're really happy that we're going to play Mission Viejo again, just because, you know, just to settle that score, make sure they know that that we beat them and for a reason last year.
Got any friends on that team?
No, I do not.
All right, man, that's Troy Nicholas going to provide the big hits this Saturday night as Servite takes on Mission Viejo.
Carlos, we've talked about some of the players, and John Khamis has talked to some of the Servite guys too. Also got a couple of great football coaches in this game. I mean, we look at two guys who have something in common. They both went to programs that weren't doing so hot, and they turned it around. Sort of different guys, but they get the same results, Carlos.
Yeah, you know, they're both incredible football minds. I mean, we've seen what Coach Johnson's done with quarterbacks over the years. Absolutely. Offenses. I mean, he's amazing. Troy Thomas is one of those guys that if you can't get inspired with Troy Thomas talking to you, something's wrong with you mentally, man.
Well, that's a look at the coaching matchups. Again, two great head coaches, great coaching staffs. And here to talk some with Coach Troy Thomas of Servite High School is our Jonathan Khamis. Jonathan?
Thanks, Steve. I'm here with Servite head coach Troy Thomas. And Troy, the countdown is on. We're getting ready for the rematch everybody wanted to see. Number 1 Servite taking on number 2 Mission Viejo. Great players on Mission Viejo, Alex Bridgeford, Dallas Kessman, but there's one that seems to stand out. His name is Trey Madden. What kind of problems does he provide?
I think he presents a lot of problems because he's he's an excellent athlete. He's a tough matchup. Physically, he's just physically gifted guy. So it's a tough matchup for anybody that's going to play him.
Finally, Coach, I mentioned earlier this is a matchup that we've really been looking forward to. Facing them again, this time in the championship game, that's got to be pretty special.
Well, I think it's just great to get back, and I know our guys are going to be ready to play. I'm sure their guys are too. I think hopefully it's a great game.
All right, we've taken a look at some of the matchups. Now it's time for some predictions. Steve Fryer here with John Khamis and Carlos Arias. Jonathan, let's put you on the spot first. Not just who's going to win, but let's get a score out of you.
Oh, wow, Steve, I like that. Well, yeah, exactly. Last year, 1918, Servite beats them. Mission Viejo decides to go for 2. That controversial decision, it didn't work out for Mission Viejo. I think we're going to see more of the same, a low-scoring matchup going into this game. But to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man, right, Carlos? That old Ric Flair saying. And Servite's #1 for a reason. I think it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game. I have Servite winning 21-17.
All right, very good. Carlos, what's your take?
My take is that he just stole my line. And next, I also think it's going to be low scoring. These defenses are going to hammer each other. I'm saying 17-14, the man, Servite.
Right. Well, I've got Mission Viejo. I picked them at the very start, my playoffs prediction column. I think their offensive versatility, fellas, gives them a bit of an edge. They can throw it better than, any team perhaps, and also run it.
We're here at Servite.
Great mixture, great mixture. I'm watching my back. Don't worry. I know the discus pit's right behind me. But I really like the way that Mission's playing right now. I think offensive-wise, they're doing great, the sort of adjustments they can make. Servite's defense is solid, rock solid. But I've got a 28-20 victory for Mission in this. I think they're going to get 4 touchdowns. I got a couple touchdowns, a couple Connor Loftus field goals going for Servite. But I think that darn Mission Viejo offense is just got too much activity going on and too many weapons. So that's my pick. It looks like we got 2 guys going Servite against me picking Mission. We'll see how it turns out at Angel Stadium at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to be a fun game. And, again, we're going to have all kinds of activity here leading up to the big game here at OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.